Hello, everyone. It's Nikki Batgirl D'Angelo here with Ben Lesnick. We've actually had an opportunity to sit down and do one of these with our busy lives. Ben, how was
Hey,
your vacation? Or it wasn't a
uh,
vacation.
no, not too bad. It was good to be home, see family, get away from Star Citizen for a little bit, but I'm happy to be back.
Yes. And Christmas? You guys have a good time?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Saw Allie's family, my family. Good time all around.
So, Star Wars. Fanboy approach to Star Wars? Or were you really good movie, but eh?
Fanboy approach, I think. I
Okay.
saw it the first time and I was like, I don't know what to think about that.
Yeah.
I think I liked it, but I wasn't sure. I've seen it a bunch of times since then, and it comes together very well, I think, in second viewing.
No, I'm sure it does. I loved the movie. It was great. I just felt a little bit um, like they just threw like the plots of all the first three movies back at me. And then I sat down, I thought about it, and said, well, that's exactly what I would do if I was trying to reinvigorate a Star Wars community. I'd throw what worked the first time to get all the people that haven't seen it into it, and then start mixing it up with the next couple of movies.
Yeah, it's really what we were kind of begging for after the
Yeah.
prequels.
Yeah, the prequels are, yeah, for me, they're not dead. There are some good elements to the prequels, like Darth Maul and a
Yeah,
couple of
there's a lot of good
fights.
stuff
Yeah,
in there.
yeah,
I'm,
just
I'm not one of those I hate the prequels guys. I had a great time with them.
yeah. Hey, it was
But
Star Wars when we had nothing.
yeah,
At least they gave us something in between, unlike Wing Commander, where we had to go to other people. So let's get down and dirty. Let's give away a ship. We have the Endeavor that's going to be going to a gentleman named Graham Gerling. I did the drawing offline and my computer blew up. Did you know my computer blew up while you were away?
I think I actually heard that.
Yeah, I'm trying to cool an FX 9370 with a tiny little cooler like that big, and behind me are like two cooler boxes. The one on the bottom is the one I just bought, and the one on top is the one that they gave me because mine was too small for it. Thanks to a couple of viewers, I now have one that works. And I was when I had the older computer working, I did the drawing on the PC, and then when I went to go back and find it, all I had was the name. So Graham Gerling, I'm sorry I can't show you the excitement of the wheel being spun, but you won, which means you probably won't win Powerball tonight. I'm so sorry.
Ah,
You'll have to accept the Endeavor.
is it tonight or tomorrow?
It's tomorrow night. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Hey, I won the first one. I got my $4 back that I invested.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So I have a couple of questions for you
All
that I'm
right.
going to pull from my list of questions that I've been holding on to. We'll be able to do these again more regularly now that you're back, right?
Definitely,
Okay.
definitely.
So I'm going to push some of the questions to next week because I have some questions about where the game is going because 2016 is going to be a very big year for the game. Isn't that correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Both games.
yeah, well, Squadron 42 is the one I'm waiting for. So we have these I mean gorgeous hangars. I've been spending time with the new lighting pass going through the Revel and York hangar, and I accidentally saw the really large hangar there for a few days, which was pretty good. And I'm really impressed with it. My question to you is, how are you going to tie back in the need for a hangar over the next year when right now we're going to a screen that just jumps us to wherever we want to be? What's the next step to tie those things together?
We're going to get to the point in the not too distant future where instead of going to a menu and starting Crusader as a separate thing, it'll be seamless. You'll get in your fighter and your hangar door open and take off.
Okay.
So,
So instead of waking up in that berthing compartment on the
yeah,
Crusader big space station, Port Olisar, I'll wake up in my own little apartment inside of the hangar?
yeah. We're going to build the little hangar rooms and so on. We kind of did the rooms in Port Olisar just to get you into the universe a little bit, rather than. But we've got the room system; it's all finished now. We just have to actually build some rooms for people.
Cool. And you're going to be going off of the ones that you promised us that we voted on, like the didn't we have like a firing range in one, and
Yeah, I'm sure we'll bring back the
this,
fire range before this is all over.
and the star map will be one of those rooms, I take it?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so are those things that we might see by the end of this year?
Oh, I think we'll see pretty much everything, but I don't want to
Good,
say
good.
exactly.
I know, I knock
Yes.
wood. I think now that people are starting to see 2.0 and 2.1, they're actually getting the full experience of what Chris's vision was. So I think that you're getting less of that negative feedback, right?
Yeah, I mean, you'll get that from some people forever, and
Yeah.
you learn to tune it out when it's not valuable.
I call
There's
it
just
jealousy.
valuable negative feedback out there,
Yeah.
but there's also a lot of people who just want to be jerks. So,
All right. So
but I definitely do think that 2.0 and 2.1 gives you that first little, it's a little quarter of our world, but it gives you the first experience. It's looking at the numbers. It's definitely selling people in the game, getting people interested. We're getting more new backers a day than ever before.
okay.
Right?
So we could look forward to those new rooms going inside of the our hangars, and our hangars being more meaningful, which I love. Are there going to be like community hangars, like hangars that are like more public that we'll be able to go through at some point?
Yeah. So the idea is you have your home hangar. That's the equivalent of your garage. It's attached to your house. It's where you keep your ship when you are home. But there's X 100, 300 something planets you can land on. And each one of those will have, the equivalent of public parking hangar, where you'll see other people come and go, and you'll definitely have that experience in other worlds.
Okay. Now, playing for, oh my God, you guys have done so well with. I know there's still bugs, but the D patch, and I guess there'll be a new patch either tonight or tomorrow, or.
I think we just went live with maybe whatever today is. We did just push one live.
Okay, so that's good. That's good, and I'll check that one out. I have not, and I'm knocking wood. I played with my friends the other night and played for 2 or 3 hours and did not crash. You guys have gotten the stability down. Hopefully you upgrade the test server hardware at some point so we get our frame rate back. But
yeah, going after that frame rate bug on all thrusters. I've been seeing reports all day of that they're measuring frame rate on public versus private versus internal, and figuring out exactly where it dips down.
Okay.
It's actually kind of interesting to watch the little graphs of. So we can see, for instance, that frame rate drops down to 10 to 15 on average when an NPC is spawning. There's something for it to go after.
Okay.
So they're kind of identifying these hot targets, and it's getting better.
Awesome. I know that I'm loving it a lot, and the one thing that I like the most about this is that you have those dynamic. I'm going to call them dynamic mission generation, but I know that they're static at this point. Like the ICC probe or like the Kovalex station. How much more of that are we going to see inside of the alpha version of the game? Are you guys really? I mean, I know that we just saw one of the people being interviewed on last week's show that is in charge of that live aspect of the game. But are we going to see that fleshed out like in each patch, like 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, or are they going to come in big pieces?
I mean, I don't think it's going to be every single patch, but there will be probably every couple patches. More of an idea of, because the guys building the mission system are developing it just like we do a ship. So you'll see kind of not necessarily stocking the existing missions with new content, more of you'll see the next type of mission, next type of mission, next type of mission. So much more about what else can you do, what else can you do, how else can the mission generation system work. So you'll see that expand.
Okay. So at this point, we have a couple of moons and a planet that are modeled in a very, very big area of space. Now, one planet that size might have dozens and dozens of moons. So are we going to see more areas around Corsair being... Is that Corsair? No, that's Crusader.
Crusader.
I've got Corsair in my head because I have to talk to you about Vanguard. Are we going to see more areas around that planet being opened up over time? So maybe could...
I mean, we've got the Crusader planet itself in the works right now.
Because it has to have more moons than what you're showing us, right?
Oh, yeah. And as we get the procedural generation stuff in, we can say, hey, moon over here, moon over here, moon over here.
And then we might be able to get some missions for like there's a lot of people that they want to haul. They want to make the Star Citizen truck simulator. I'm one of them, kind of, sort of. I want to do different missions. I want to haul. I want to go out and explore. Those are things that we should see this year, right? Or soon? Okay. Right. All right, awesome. And I wanted to ask about the Prowler because I saw some spoken word about it now being a Corvette. Could you explain the Prowler to me so we could like put that to rest?
Okay, this is one of those internet things.
Yeah.
I believe what I posted was somebody asked what ships we're working on. I think I said we're working on the Prowler, comma, the small corvette, and the pirate interceptor.
Okay.
And so now guys, the Prowler is a pirate interceptor corvette now. I'm like, no. I simply did not use an Oxford comma. It's 3 different ships.
I thought so. I needed to ask you that because I always want to give you the opportunity to come on here and to like right some wrongs that might be set out there. But the Prowler is still the boarding ship. It's still what you wanted it to be.
Tavaran-inspired boarding ship.
So Corvette coming out. Can I throw something in that I have to throw in once in a blue moon just because I promised them I'd do this? Mm-hmm. The Infinite Shoe Monkeys scimitar. How does that fit into your thought processes?
So I have my list of ships, the 3 ships I just mentioned that are the ones we're doing right now. And then I have a wish list of once the resources become available, we are doing this, and this. The Scimitar's in there.
Okay.
Dragonfly's in there. A bunch of other fantasy ships and, Ben fantasy ships like the Twin Mustang are in there.
Twin Mustang?
Twin Mustang.
Oh my God. 2 bugs with 1 wing. Oh God, I love the Delta. The Delta is one of my most fun ships to fly. So let's talk about the Mustang, Twin Mustang, but let me pick your brain. You're looking at Cyrus Coerner and Consolidated Outland. Mm-hmm. In the future, you're not being held to this, what other types of ships do you think that group might be able to produce at some point in the distant future?
I think I'll go after more of a freelancer-sized competitor next.
Okay.
Their multi-cruise ship.
All right.
I see them very much as some big tech startup, but something like Apple that will startup, of course, but it's where they kind of pick a market and go after it, like they did with we're doing tablets now, we're doing watches now, we're doing, and it'll be a big event when Silas Corner gets up on stage and says, multi-crew isn't good enough. And,
so he's the Steve Jobs of the Star Citizen universe. Is that what you're telling me? I thought he was a Richard Branson for a few minutes there.
I think he's a little bit less... there's a little bit more to him than Richard Branson.
Okay. All right, cool.
But in that vein.
All right, he's not going to go flying off in a balloon somewhere then, right? All right, cool. So, I'm just looking for that design because when I go in the hangar, the 2 ships I take out most of all right now are the Gladius and the Mustang Delta, and I think that once you guys push me the Sabre, that will be the 3rd ship.
Now, I've had this. I've always wanted to do the Twin Mustang, and people always tell me, no, you can't do that. But one of my favorite things, crazy World War II aircraft, is all the times when they would double them up. There's like Hangar 111 that's 2 those gliders, and there was a BF-109 that was doubled for long range.
Yeah,
I want to do that in Star Citizen.
I'm all for that. I mean, this game's going to be around for a while. You guys broke the 100 million by far now, and you just keep on getting more and more people. So let's talk about the Vanguard because I want to end it on the Vanguard because the Vanguard was presented to us as a long-range fighter, right? And if you go online, you could read the different threads about the controversy or controversy. How do they say it in Britain? We'll let them correct me. And controversy. Okay. And there are people that are just upset with the way the design has changed over time. It has a certain amount of missiles, and if it's a long-range fighter, shouldn't it be able to replenish those missiles? Its turrets, its engines, its placements of nozzles, and all these things have changed. And I know we can't keep everybody happy. So I'm going to the person where most of the ideas of these ships come out of, it comes out of your head. Let's go back to the drawing board of the Vanguard just one more time, because how many times have we done this, Ben? And let you explain your vision of the Vanguard from the beginning.
It's literally, again, World War II fighter. It's our Messerschmitt 110, our P-61 Nighthawk. It's supposed to be a ranged fighter. It will operate without a carrier, makes more jumps than a single-seat fighter, has amenities on board for multi-day missions. I see, you have these complaints with every single ship ever.
Freelancer.
Every single one ever. I mean, the answer is ultimately going to have to be we'll let the Vanguard speak for itself. I think that'll happen sooner than later. But as far as I can tell, and I have not actually flown it yet, I will soon. It's in the right direction.
Okay.
There's a quote from like Desiderata: "Many fears are born out of fatigue and loneliness. Wait till you fly it."
And I've said that to people. I said, you can look at it all you want. You could look at the changes, but let's see what it actually does. Because even when you're done with the model, it's going to go into the flight. We're going to fly it. And then, just like every other ship that you've done, it's going to be tweaked. It's going to have a repass. It's going to be upgraded. It's going to be nerfed. It's going to be fixed. And it's going to be released for the game, right?
And yeah, some of the stuff you see, like, it has missiles, and how can it be a long-range fighter when it would have to have missiles that reload? Like, that's not a requirement we have for a long-range fighter.
Right.
You will be able to reload missiles, and so on and so on. So I would wait and see on that one.
Let's look at a bomber that's around today. The B-2 takes off of an air base in Missouri.
Flies around the world.
Flies to Afghanistan. Drops a couple of JDAMs. They are now empty of all of their ordnance, and they come back. So in that situation, we know that insurgency and different training camps and stuff like that are going to be the main victims or main targets of the B-2. So what's the main target of something like a Vanguard? Is it another ship? Is it an installation? What would that be?
That's an interesting question. Our big idea for the Vanguard was that it would be built. It would sort of be operated by these advanced bases.
On a moon, right?
Yeah.
Asteroid moon. Yeah.
UAE can't afford to have a carrier group out in this system, but they can have a squadron of Vanguards on a dusty airfield somewhere, and these don't just fly close air support of this planet. They will fly off to the surrounding systems. They'll patrol for Vanduul, and then they can also. You ever think of history of Battle of Midway, where like the first shots were all by these like B-17s.
Right.
They were the Catalinas and the B-17s were the first ones that identified the carriers when they're much further out. They had totally futile raids against them because a strategic bomber doesn't bomb a carrier very well in 1942. Right. But essentially that role.
Okay. So the other thing was, I think a lot of people are looking for that heavy fighter to be long range, but this is more like a medium fighter that's long range because it has to be able to take itself long distances, right?
And the pilot needs to be able to moderate himself for long distances. It's not, hey, here's every resource you could possibly need forever. It's here's a different configuration of resources that will get you here if you are flying this thing correctly.
All right. So let's talk about one last piece of it. One of the major design elements of this is this internal kind of capsule that could save these people and keep them alive for a bit while ships actually jump out to where they are, right? So in the combat that we have now, combat is very quick and you die without even an opportunity to move out of your pilot seat. How is that going to change over the future to let me get out of that pilot seat and into that
There's
capsule?
Definitely going to be more of a focus on that ejection process once we're kind of happy with combat right now. We'll
all right.
figure out how you get out of it.
All right, cool. And that's something that I know that you're working on now that you have different ways for you to get out of your ship. Really fast, slow, with all the animations. So I know that will be something that will work out over time. All right, and the last one is Reliant. I know Reliant is going to be one of the next ships that we could see in our hangar, right? One of the newer ships that we'll see in the next few months.
Yeah, it's just about hangar ready now. I'm
okay.
Sure
you at one point equated that to the Corsair, though I didn't hear you say that yourself.
Oh yes, although that may have been more. Yeah, it was. That was for the specific military variant for an image I wanted.
Okay.
That was done, which we still have not done. I wanted to see it on one of these frontier bases with combat netting around it, Baba Black Sheep style.
Yeah.
But it's sort of a ship in that similar vein, that rough and tumble, operate off of a remote base, forward operating base type thing.
Awesome. I'm hoping that somehow you work the Mustang into the UE military Oh, my alarm's going off. We're almost at 20 minutes. We're actually almost there. I just didn't want to push these over 20 minutes because we have quite a number of questions I'm going to go to next week and the week after, Ben. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Graham Gearing, you've won the endeavor. I said that when we reached 3,000, we were going to get a Carrack from Ben. I don't know if that's going to happen. But we've got a couple hundred to go, guys, before I even ask Ben for a ship. Who knows? You guys might want something different by then. We might see a Prowler by then with...
I'm sure you'll get 3,000 before.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, thank you very much, Ben. I appreciate it. I'm going to let you go, and thanks for giving us the time. And with that said, folks, you all be safe out there, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.